you a fabulous VBS case study by our one and only student, Glenyce Hughes, who is in the manifestation space. And her case study has blown me and other students away, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Glenyce, I'm so thankful for your time. Tell everybody a little bit about you, your background, who you serve. I want everybody to know about you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. So yeah, I do all sorts of manifestation magic, and I've been actually in business for many, many years and doing all sorts of different things. And this is what I find to be just the most fun and really contributes to the people. And I do coaching one-to-one, and I do group classes, and I have different courses, and of course this toolkit now, and all sorts of things, really just to contribute to people to change whatever it is they would like to change with ease.
I love that. And you mentioned the toolkit, and I can't wait to dive deeper into that a little bit later. I'm going to include that in the description for everyone if you want to scroll through it and see it as you watch this. The first question I have for you is, how did you actually find out about the Viral Bundle system and came across us?
I am in the content group.
In the Viral Content Club.
That's it. Yes, the content club. And then, obviously get your emails, and it was coming in through some emails, and it just really piqued my interest, which I have to say, a lot of stuff like this doesn't anymore. I've done a lot of things, I've taken a lot of things, but I don't usually follow through. So I usually look at something and think, oh, I won't do it anyway. But this one kept my interest.
Interesting. What was it about that you were like, this is, I want to join this?
I'm not sure I really have words for it, except that there was, it was done together over so many weeks, and that felt like I would be more apt to actually do it if I was like kind of not, we don't have our hand held through it, but kind of like that, like you're working alongside other people who are doing the same thing, and then there's also people on your team that are assisting us and giving us feedback and stuff, and that felt a little bit. But honestly, Katya, I have to tell you, the funny thing is that I believe it was the day before it ended for me to sign up or something like that. And I looked at it right before I went to bed, and I was like, nope, not doing it. And I went to bed, and I could not go to sleep. I actually had to get out of bed and go and register. I'm not kidding you. So, You
were having like divine messages speaking to you and saying, Glenyce, you're not going to sleep. Yes. Oh my God, that's so hilarious. What was it that you really wanted to get out of it? Like what was it that you were like, this would really benefit my business in this particular way?
Doing something like this. So like I say, I have a lot of courses and I do a lot of group classes and stuff, but a toolkit was such a different way. One, I didn't need to be present for something. So in my classes and even in the courses that I've done, I've always led them. Or if I'm going to redo them, then I do, kind of a live round type of thing. And so this toolkit felt so much more freeing in the sense of time, where I could put it together and then, in a sense, just let it go on its own and sell itself. That's really what I was intrigued with.
That's amazing. So you joined in and you started going through the material. What was the idea that you came up as you were going through? What was going through your mind? And just walk me through your thought process as you were going through that experience. Because you said you've bought so many things in the past and you never implemented. And at this one, you actually implemented, and I don't remember at all you asking a lot of questions before you even launched it, at least not that many, and yet it was already there. So what was it? What was going through your mind at the beginning?
Yeah, it was really great. And I do learn a lot from, just even watching calls. So the group calls, I would go on and I would hear them talk to other people. And I probably did have a question or two, but not very many. Because initially I was going to do something around like, I don't know, coaching your pocket type of thing. That's what I was looking at. And then as I was going through the calls and the information, it was really about getting it really clear. Like even coach in your pocket, it was like, but what are you coaching? Who are you coaching? What, like it was like mind blowing because I'm like, but wait, that makes sense to me, doesn't it, to the rest of the world? But apparently not. So I looked at what I already had, which was also another suggestion and discussion and such. And I looked at what I already had, and I had a lot of information, and most of my toolkit was already out of other programs that I went, I've got it right here. I've got it right here. So then to create it was super simple because I had all the pieces. I did re-record things and stuff, but I had all the pieces, and it was really simple. And then it was also really clear because it's called, Manifest Your Money Goal Toolkit. So people don't have to wonder. They know exactly what that is.
Yeah, exactly. I always say, name it so that even a 5-year-old would get it, and manifest your goal. It's kind of like, I totally understand it. So you come up with this idea. What did you decide to include with it, and how did you envision it before you actually launched it?
Yeah, how did I believe, if I remember correctly, I actually asked just general people in my different Facebook groups, like what they would want. And I gave them, and I think this was probably part of the program too, because I don't think I'd come up with that on my own. I think that's your brilliance. And so I had, some ideas of what I would put in, and I just spent kind of based on what people told me. And I also had extra space for people to add in things. So, I just basically what people were saying they wanted is what I put in it. And one of the things that in all the different programs that I've had it is a Google spreadsheet, which is a goal tracker that I've created and designed myself, that people have always loved. So I knew that was a big one for people, because it's if you don't understand spreadsheets or that sort of stuff, it's difficult. So that one was a no-brainer. And the other ones are just basically what people were telling me that they wanted with it.
Amazing. So what were the things that you ended up with in the concept? Like, did you have videos, spreadsheets? So you had a spreadsheet. What did you have in the whole bundle, and how much was it?
So I had also, it's how to set your magical monthly goal workbook with a video. So I literally walk you through the workbook. You could put the workbook beside you and play the video, and I'm walking you through each step. And then I also have a simple mindset technique to change money limitations, again, with a workbook and a video, so that, again, they can walk through with me as though I'm sitting there doing it with them. We also have a daily checklist to stay on track to manifest the monthly goal, because a lot of times people kind of just do it once and then they walk away. But it's something, if you're really truly choosing the money you would like, there's a lot of things to be implementing every day. And then I put something really fun in there, which is printable manifestation checks from the universe. So people can go in and put their name in it and put them on the fridge or something like that. So that was really fun. And then I also put in 4 manifesting money hack videos and the PDF transcription of each, because I know some people aren't video watchers, they'd rather read. So we've got that. And then I also included a private Facebook community. And I'm so grateful that I did. I know that it didn't need to be, but I'm so grateful because I ended up having so many sales that it was a nice way to stay connected with everybody. And then I actually, like, once the toolkit launched and came out, I actually did like an unboxing, which is very similar with what you do with your content stuff. I did an unboxing in there for everybody. So I actually went through the toolkit, even though they had all the videos and all that, I still went through it. And it was so fun to engage with everybody and everybody's excitement about it. Like, it has created so much that private Facebook group is really great.
Oh, I didn't actually know that. That's so fun. And what you're describing ultimately is you didn't want to create another learning experience for people, because you already do a lot of classes, workshops. You didn't want to add another one of those. You wanted something that was really actionable. I hear you had a lot of printable things. You had like a check, you had some workbooks, and then you had a walkthrough to make sure people understand how to use them. And you had literal spreadsheets to help people actually go and use the stuff. And one thing that's really powerful about that is if you have a daily checklist that they have to use, it's a really nice way for the customer to have your brand in their mind every single day right? And to be like, every single day, I am running my business with Glenyce's wisdom on my side by having that checklist. So it's really, really smart. And I'll ask you a little bit about later on about how they thought about it. So let's not spoil that just yet. I want to ask you, and I'd love for you to dive deeper into what was your launch strategy and how did you get your first sale, and then how many was in the pre-launch period. But let's start with the strategy. So what did you do after you came up with the idea?
Then again, I followed what you told us to do because it was brilliant. I basically just put out there, hey, if anybody would like this, here's what it is. Let me know. Honestly, Kanya, I'm not sure I will do that again, or I will have a team member, because I probably sent out 400 private messages
Yeah.
to people who were interested. I had no clue I would get that much interest. I was blown away and literally spending hours replying to each other, to each person. I mean, but I have to say, you know, I'm joke that I might not do that again, but honestly, also the engagement with that person becomes such a gift too, because even if they don't buy it, I'm chatting with them. We're chatting, and I know because of the years I've been in business what the value is in that for them, but also for me, because I get to know the people that are purchasing some of my stuff, and maybe they don't show up on the calls or I don't get a chance to chat with them. It's just a different energy. So I mean, I joke about it and how many hours it was to reply to everybody, but it was also so incredible, so incredible.
So you had over 400 people to raise their hand. That must have been a real feeling of like, wow, this is going viral. This is really a viral bundle. This isn't a PDF. This isn't like another boring free PDF workbook to read. And so people got really excited about it. So how did you get your first sales? Walk me through that process for you. What did you do?
Well, that was really simple, because then when I replied to the people who reached out, I just said, whatever, thank you for reaching out, and here's the information, here's the link, and boom, because they were also very aware that it wasn't created yet. So they were getting in on the pre-sale. So they were getting in early. So they knew, and I gave them, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I didn't give them an exact, no, I did. I said it would be ready by that date, maybe sooner, but definitely by that date. So I did let them know. So some of them probably bought maybe 3 weeks even before it actually launched. But nobody seemed to care.
So you launched it and you got your first sales. And I remember you had a very simple checkout page. It was so simple. It literally was just like a store page with a picture of you and a couple of bullet points. And then only after you got like, I don't know how many sales, only then you started to tweak and improve, which I really, really encourage everyone to do. Just get it out there and then perfect as you go, as people did that. So uh, tell me about, how did that pre-sale go for you? Like, how many sales did you have? What was the total number? I want to hear it all.
Yeah, yeah. So I had actually forgot about the pre-sale, like that actually very first, because of the way that my store on my website is already set up, and sales pages and all of that. I didn't have a really easy way to set up like upsells and all this stuff. So I just did what I had, because again, your brilliance said, just do it, get it out there. And I'm like, if these people are, emailing or messaging me for more information, I'm not going to tell them to wait. So, sent them that link, and there was kind of a bizarre way to add the upsell, and it kind of worked, but not really, didn't matter, and all of that. But yeah, so with that, I mean, I didn't look at numbers for how many bought on that one, but in the pre-sale, there was 323 people that bought.
Wow, 323 people that bought. And that was total people. That's not even total sales, because you had some people buy your little bump offer. So what was your bump offer?
So the bump offer is basically 10 audios of like for people who are looking to change things with money. So if they're, they have a lot of debt they need to pay back. It's like meditations basically, but there's these audio energy things that I just threw it out there. I was like, that feels fun for me. I'm not sure that anybody would even want it. But apparently 138 of the 323 said yes.
Oh, wow. So you got 320 people plus another 130 sales of the, so that's over 400 sales actually. That's over 400 sales total. Do you remember what was the total number of it all in terms of value by any chance?
Like how much I made in that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wrote down the numbers just to make sure I had them. It was over 13,000 for the toolkit, and then over 4,000 for the upsell.
Oh, wow. 17,000 in total. And by the way, if you're watching this, I have no idea. Like I don't know the numbers before they come in at the front. I just may have a rough idea, but $70,000, that was just on the pre-sale.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought it was like 10. I thought I knew it was 10, but I didn't know it was 17. That's amazing. And then when you did that, did you I earlier I was talking to someone else and they said that they also had, as they were promoting the toolkit, they had other people reaching out and saying, hey, can I just work with you one-on-one, or they had other upsells as a result of that. Do you remember if you had any direct opportunities or upsells afterwards, whether immediately or a couple months after, that came as a result of the bundle?
I cannot say 100%, but what I did do, knowing we were going to have this conversation, is I went and I just pulled what I could from my Infusionsoft, and 65 people have since bought something with me. So were they already on my database and have been buying from me for a long time? I'm not sure, but I did that. Anybody who bought the toolkit that made a purchase after that, there's been 65 of them. So I think that's pretty
I
cool.
see. So of the 320 people that bought the toolkit around the time during the pre-sale, within the next 6 months, 60 plus of them bought something else.
Well, within the next 3 months, yes.
Within the next 3 months. And what is the lowest price point of anything that you offered in that time? I offer a lot of things.
I offer a lot of things, yes. Probably like $47 would be the lowest, up to 2,200. So anywhere in between. Yeah.
Amazing. So 63 people, that is what's that? That's a 25% almost. That's 25% upsell takeout rate. And even if they were on your list before, what ends up happening is when people buy something, you're in their mind, in your recent, and then you offer something else, and they just, because they bought already something, they want to go deeper. In fact, I want to ask you, when you delivered the toolkit, what was the feedback and the reaction? How was that for people?
They love it. It's been amazing to see that. And that's one of the things we added to the sales page, is all the things that people have been saying. And I did get one. I have to read this one. She says,
yeah, please.
She says, so glad this came to my eyes after opening. I got a check for $24,000.
Oh, wow. You paid $30 and then you manifested $24,000.
Right?
That is a thousand, almost 1,000x return, a little bit less, but
nice. Yeah.
You know the math, you get the math there. And it's almost like when you can really deliver something that is so much high value for such an affordable price, people kind of go, well, it's a no-brainer. I want to work with you long term. It's only been like 6 months or something since you launched this, so I'm so excited to see how it goes in the future. How let me ask you this. Now that you've had the bundle, can you walk me through what did you do after the pre-sale strategically, price-wise? Like, how is it part of your whole business model right now? And how do you use it? Where do you sell it, upsell it, downsell it? Just walk me through the strategy now afterwards.
Yeah. So this is, I'm still learning. I think it's just, I don't think it's been 6 months. It's maybe been, hasn't it been like 3, but maybe it's been 6. Anyway, it's been a while. And so I'm just really, and right now my team is even updating the sales page again, because I'm just aware that things need to be updated and there needs to be maybe more information than there has been. I started doing probably 6 weeks ago, a reel every day on Instagram of like a magical money trick. And so then they get that. And then I also invite them to go download this free gift of the magical money tricks. There's a video and all the things. And then in there, then they go into a sequence to invite them to the Manifest Your Money Goal Toolkit. So that's one way that I've been using it. And probably that's the best way that I've been using it consistently. It is going out in places, and it goes on my email every Sunday, and it does, certain things, but that's probably the most active that I'm with it right now.
That's really good. Another thing you can probably do is anytime you do a sale of like a workshop or something that's higher priced, after that, that can be like your down sell, kind of like, hey, if you couldn't join us for the workshop that was $2,200, well, here's $100 tool, because right now it's $100, right? So here's $100 thing to get you started, kind of like, here's my brochure, give it a taster, and then that way they get to be introduced in your world as well. So that's a little something that you could always do for sure. And you could also use it as a call to action when you go on podcasts, when you go on other people's webinars, or other people's membership areas. And that's what I've done actually a lot. I use our bundle whenever I go and speak somewhere else, and that's been really fun.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think a couple final questions I want to ask you is, looking back at your entire experience with going through the system and launching this first ever passive income product of yours, what's the biggest lesson that you have taken away from it that you want to share that will be helpful for anyone that may ever go through the same process?
Yeah, that you don't have to do something before you sell it. You don't have to have it completed. I've never not had something completed before I sold it. That wasn't even in my world. Like, of course, I would do all the work and I would get it all together. And then, whether people loved it or not, that didn't matter. I had to do it. This way was so freeing, because if people didn't like it, then I would know that I wouldn't have to, put all the work in and all that. I mean, it didn't work out that way for me, but this, I love that idea. The other thing that has always stayed with me, and it was something that was said on one of the calls, was, and it was around pricing. And I often will do a pricing of like 27, 47, 67. Like I'll usually do that. And one of your team members was saying, like, if you're going to do that, do like, so the pre-sale was $39.99, but it would have been 37. And what they said was, if look at the difference. Now that might not be much, like $2.99 for the person buying it. But if you have 100 sales, or you have 500 sales, or you have, that's a big chunk of money. And I'd never considered that before. So I was so grateful that I heard that and I listened, and they did make it $39.99 because it did make a big difference to me, not to
$2.
But
$2 times 300 sales. There you go. That's additional, what, $600? Is that it? Yeah. It's pays for all your PayPal fees.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know who came up with the magical 27.47. I am a fan of $29.99 and $39.99 and so on. So thank you for sharing that. And the pre-sale, yes, we teach a process where you want to pre-sell your bundle to have an audience that you can actually get feedback from. And you said you created a Facebook group. How has it been for you to run? Because now you probably have over 300 members in that group, and I assume you're still active in there. How has that been for you to have? Because I assume you've had other free Facebook groups before and other, student Facebook groups, but how has it been to have a Facebook group dedicated to buyers only?
I love it. Again, they can support each other and they can chat amongst themselves. They can post questions. And that was really what I wanted it for, because in my experience, you can put something out there and then you can get 25 different emails with the same question. So this way, if one person asked the question and other people had it, then it's responded to and I can go in and respond to it, and it's super easy and less time for me. It also just feels more engaging. It's not a lot of time for me. Like, there's not a lot of active people. If somebody has a question, that's great, but it's not like 20 people asking questions every day. It's not that at all. Plus, I can just post in there when I've got whatever, if I've got an idea or suggestion to use this, or just kind of be reminded too that I'm there and that they've got this toolkit, because sometimes we forget what we buy, and just different things like that.
Oh, that's really, really fun. My final question to you would be, there will be people watching this and thinking if this is the right program for them, for their business model, etc. Who would you say would benefit the most from VBS, and must at least give it a shot at least once?
You know, honestly, anybody in business, because that's one thing I saw with everybody in the group is we're all so different. We all have different places we're working, different things. There was one guy that did a whole bunch with school exercises for teachers and things I would have never in a million years considered having a toolkit for. But the value it is for the people that would buy that, like that teacher who would buy that product, that toolkit from him, was like, they've got a whole year planned out. Like, so I think anybody in business, but it's also, like you say, if you go on podcasts, you can drive people to it. You can share it with other people. You can put it on. If you don't have anything else to put in your store, you've got that, and people can start, if you're just starting out. I don't think that there's just one business that this would be, work for. I think it's every person in business that has something that they could share and put into this way that it just becomes super easy to sell and to talk about. And then, you don't have to do anything except have it set up already and you're done.
I did not see that answer coming, to be honest with you. Anyone in business, in Glenyce's opinion, I would add a caveat to say anyone in business who has been in business at least for a year or so. I always say, if you haven't got a business idea, if you haven't got any idea what to do or what to sell, probably wait until it's available another time, or get it now with the intention of going through it later. But just know that if you don't have a business, it's kind of like you're not going to get the Glenyce kind of results, because how many years have you been in business, Glenyce?
20 years.
Wow. And how many have you sold online workshops, courses, etc.?
Over those 20 years?
Oh, wow. So 20 years
is that
ago.
What you mean?
I mean, on social media, for example.
I don't like all the courses and classes and everything I've sold on social media.
Oh, you used to sell them in person. So you used to do them in person, maybe?
Yeah, I did. It certainly did in person for many, many years. And then, probably the past 7 or 8 years has been way more social media based for sure. So yeah, I've sold pretty much everything I sell has a social media base to it now. There's some sort of invitation somewhere.
So seasoned entrepreneur gets seasoned kind of results. So if you're a seasoned entrepreneur, probably a good idea to try this out, because you'll probably get results much faster, like you. Well, I'm so thankful for your time. Thank you for chatting with me and sharing your story. I have included your bundle, Manifest Your Goal. Manifest Your Goal.
Money goal.
Your money goal. Yes, very important. Manifest Your Money Goal toolkit. It's you can go check out the price it is right now and see what's included. It's still available for sale. If that's something right up your alley, go check it out. And thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for serving people around the world with your work, and can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see what you end up doing over the next 12 months, 2 years, and so on with it.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you for making such a great product too. I love it.